Hey friends. If you click to check out the new Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation, then please keep on watching. If it's your first time here, my name is Alicia. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning, well, thank you for coming again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. And if you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I wasn't going to buy another foundation, but I was intrigued by this from the get-go. I have Pat's mixed with Hourglass's Vanish Liquid Foundation, got Midnight Sun on the eyes, so we'll take this off and start from scratch. But I wanted to say, anything Japanese skincare makeup technology, I'm always intrigued by because I really think they nail the formulas in those sectors. So when I saw that Shiseido was coming out with a new foundation, I don't know what in the world happened to my audio in this portion of the video, but I was explaining how I purchased the foundation at Sephora. They didn't have them out, but they did have them to sell. So they had a few testers. I made sure I got the right color, bought the foundation from Sephora, zipped over to Bloomingdale's. Why did I do that? I'm so stupid. Stroll into Bloomingdale's. I think I went there 2 weeks ago to inquire about the foundation and they didn't have it yet. But surprisingly, they did have the concealer and the gel stick concealer. Didn't have testers, but they had them to sell. I don't know what's going on with the Shiseido release, but it seems a little scattered. So I did manage to pick up the Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Concealer as well as the Correcting Gel Stick Concealer. I bought this primarily to contour with because I'm very much intrigued by the gel stick type of thing, just to see how it looks on me. It was tough because they didn't have any testers, so I just had to look at the shades and make a guess and just take it from there. So if you just wanted to see some shade comparisons, how it wears, again, this is not to make you buy new foundation and concealer. Again, if you just need a little guidance in terms of how you think the foundation, the concealer wears, if you're in the market for a new foundation and concealer despite the bombardment of complexion products as of late, well, hopefully this video will help you, friend. Some quick fire details. The foundation does retail for $47, so I consider this very much luxury. It's not as expensive as Pat's, but definitely more expensive than, let's say, Urban Decay or ABH. I decided on the shade Citrine. That is described to be balanced with a slight olive tone for medium tan skin, neutral undertone, because the next one is 410. So they jump from 360 to 410. 410 is sandstone, which is more tan, and that would have looked too warm on me. This comes in 30 shades and you get 1 fluid ounce, which is typical amount for a foundation. It is oil free and has an SPF of 30. The filters in here are octinoxate 4.9% and titanium dioxide 5.8%. We're looking at medium coverage, natural finish. This is from Sephora. It is said to be for normal, dry, combination, and oily. I don't have my glasses. I gotta bring this closer. Sorry. Active Force technology protects the finish from the effects of sweat, oil, and facial movement. You can't beat these smile lines. Responsive sensory technology helps foundation adapt to skin's condition, tone, and texture. Smart correcting powder enhances skin's surface texture and tone. Interesting. And this is made in the USA. Concealer is tiny, friends. I was very surprised. This is the size of the concealer. Look at it. Look at this little baby concealer. $31. That's expensive for this amount. 1.9 ounces or 5.8 milliliters. In terms of size, this is what we're looking at compared to the size of the foundation. We have 16 shades in the concealer, $31 each, like I said. I picked up 301 medium. Golden tone for medium skin, golden undertone. Medium golden tone is the color, golden undertone is the undertone. Medium to full coverage, 24-hour wear, natural finish. Again, suggested for normal, dry, combination, oily skin types. Same fancy benefits with the Active Force, responsive sensory technology, and smart correcting powder. Natural finish, if I did not mention that before. Now we gotta go over to Nordy's because Sephora does not carry the gel stick. Shiseido. Here is the stick. It also retails for $31. This comes in 15 shades, 2.5 grams or 0.08 ounces of product. An innovative stick concealer that helps cover imperfections beautifully with just a swipe and stays put for 24 hours. It seems that all across the board, this complexion line, which includes a loose powder as well, and I think a pressed powder, is about long wearing, 24-hour stay, but not looking textured and still remaining skin-like in finish. From what I see. This concealer is formulated with 3 advanced gels. that create a new balance of cushioning, weightlessness, and crease resisting coverage. And all of these have a suggested shelf life of 24 months. Now, what intrigued me about not only the gel stick but the liquid concealer is that they contain iron oxides. And I just quickly jotted down for the liquid concealer: dimethicone, water, titanium dioxide, iron oxides. Iron oxides are said to protect against visible light. The order in which these ingredients are presented does not indicate the percentage. If it is formulated with more than 3% iron oxides, then this will provide great visible light protection. I can't tell from the list alone. This also, the gel stick, contains iron oxides, and it appears to be third on the list. So not to say you should rely on these concealers for your sun protection under the eyes or wherever you wish to apply this, but it's nice reinforcement on top of your sunscreen already applied. Let's check out these shades, shall we? I will say that the neutral undertones are very much true to being neutral, so that is a standout quality I see with this foundation. Here are the comparisons. Here is Citrine 360 from Shiseido. Here is Pat's Sublime N16, NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Neutral Tan, ABH 355N, Dose of Colors 122 Medium Tan, and Hourglass Vanish Liquid in Honey. So you see how neutral the Shiseido is to all the rest of my foundation. I would say that it very much resembles the NYX, but that's about it. I've been mixing my foundations like nuts, so it wouldn't be a big deal to me if I had to adjust the shade a little bit, because like I said, the next one up was Maple, which was way too light, and the next one down was 410, which would have been way too dark. So Citrine is just the best match for me out of the line. Here is 301 medium of the concealer, and here is number 6 from Giorgio Armani's Power Fabric. Incredible that the Power Fabric looks significantly more pink than the Shiseido, don't you think? And I actually haven't tried the stick, so I'll just swatch the stick right next to the I think I should have gotten the other one that was more neutral, but I was afraid if I would have layered my bronzer over the more neutral gel stick that it would have looked gray. So that's why I opted for the more warm shade, which I forgot to mention. The gel stick I got in 401 Tan. Unfortunately, Nordy's doesn't include shade descriptions like Sephora does. It was between 401 or 402. 402 looked a lot more neutral in tone, so maybe this will work out. I was gonna use it like a bronzer contour type of a thing. All right, let's get this makeup off and I'll be right back. Oh well, hello there. I managed to just take off my makeup, obviously. Applied my COSRX Green Tea Aqua Soothing Gel Cream, topped with the Crave Beauty's Beat Shield. This is my typical setup I use before I go in with foundation. I don't use a traditional primer. I rely on my sunscreen as primer because sun protection is a priority for me. I only did one layer because I'm not going to go up. I am in front of my window, so it still doesn't hurt to apply some sunscreen on anyway. I'm going to take all these earrings just for the application, you know, just so that we could stay focused and not ding-a-ling-a-ling all around. Okay, so we're dealing with some hyperpigmentation. I am right now normal to dry. As soon as it gets a little colder, I could just feel my skin get drier, especially because I am on tretinoin, so it does accelerate the dryness a tad bit more. I would say that I am a neutral golden undertone. I don't even know. I'm still trying to figure that out. So again, here's the foundation up close. You got Shiseido here on the top, and to open it, you twist it on its side, just so you could take a look at the consistency. Not too runny, but not too creamy either. Right in the middle. I like to start off with a pump first. I'm gonna place that on one side of my face using my Dose of Colors sponge first, and then we'll do a brush on the other side. Typically though, I don't use a brush, but just for demo's sake, if you do use a brush and you want to see the difference in finish, then we'll make it happen. That blended out fairly quickly, and I have to say, I'm glad that the light is changing, because now this is a little more neutral in terms of what the light's doing. Pretty good match, I have to say. I'm just putting a little bit more on my hyperpigmentation. Cool beans. Half a pump more for the other side. Using my Wayne Goss 27S synthetic fan brush to blend that out. The reason why I don't use a brush is because this motion could dismantle the sunscreen shield film, but it is a beautiful finish though with the brush. So this is synthetic fibers and they don't absorb as much product as natural fibers do. So if you want the most coverage, I definitely recommend that you apply this foundation with synthetic brush. And if you don't want as much coverage, then definitely apply with the sponge. So it sets pretty quickly. You want to come in a little closer. Cut down the exposure a little bit just so you can see the texture. I'm very impressed by how quickly, oh hey son, come on in, we were missing you. How quickly this has dried down, but it not look textured or heavy or even flat, which is what I find a lot with self-setting powder containing foundations. But it did say that it's a natural finish. I do have a little bit of tack left over. I would say it's definitely natural, maybe teetering on the side of satin, which will lead me to conclude probably not super ideal for dry skin types unless you go in with a very hydrating primer initially or a very hydrating sunscreen initially. But I think this will be rather nice for oily skin types because again, it's not super matte. I would say it's between, for me, in terms of all the foundations I have next to me, it's between the dry down of the NYX Cosmetics Can't Stop Won't Stop and Pat, because the NYX dries down a lot faster than the Shiseido for sure. Let's take a look at the concealer, which I'm very excited to try. I'm mad at this size, friends. The Giorgio is coming in with 6 milliliters of product. This is 5.8, so, but still. Gotta say, I love the applicator. It's like a ball on top of the doe foot, so let's see what this does. I'm gonna do that. Oh, that seems like it's gonna be a nice color. Definitely using a sponge to blend this out. They say it's medium to full. Perhaps it will be full if I apply just a little more right where it's the darkest under the eyes. It does dry down fairly quickly, so if you're one of those who likes to let their concealer hang out, I don't think you'll be very happy with that step. You definitely have to blend this out right away because it feels like it dries down fairly quickly. I think that's a really good color. It looks very light on camera. Let me tone this down because the light's coming in really strongly. But whoa, I'm highlighted. It was between this and 302. I opted for 301 because of the golden undertone description. Not too bad. Next, going in with the gel stick again in 401 tan is a very warmish undertone. Oh, but I think we could definitely manage with this though. I rarely do this, but I was intrigued just by the description of the texture. Definitely gonna use the sponge. The rep from Bloomingdale's says that this blends fairly easily. Oh, that's nice. I'm happy I went a little warmer because I don't really contour a lot and I typically will go in with a bronzer anyway. And again, I didn't want that risk of it turning or looking grayish in tone when I would layer a warm red tone bronzer on top of like a more neutral undertone concealer. Well, that gel stick is very lightweight. You could even use your fingers to blend this out, and I rather love the color. It doesn't look too overly warm or too overly contoured, which is what I was going for sure. So if you're into like cream products for your contour or bronzer, this will be a nice thing to check out. Here's a close-up of the concealer. I really like how it's drying down. I mean, I love the shade, but the dry down is phenomenal. So although it dries down fast, it doesn't dry down with the dry texture. It doesn't look tight on the skin. It doesn't look heavy. It looks very smooth. I mean, I'm gonna let this chill out for a little bit. I usually start creasing right away because I have this really deep divot under my lash line, but it's not really creasing that much. Oh, wow. And here's the shade of 401 tan, but you could take a look at the texture when applied on the foundation, how I feel it still looks fairly smooth and skin-like, don't you think? It's definitely not matte. I would say it is natural finish. There is some bounce to the skin, however, and if you are oily, I would recommend that you powder just in case. But if you are normal, I think this is an ideal texture for you to try out. I like it. I like it. Like right now, I'm really feeling the finish. This is a first impression, so I'm gonna put that in the title. I'm definitely gonna do an update, however, just so we see how it goes, you know, how I've been liking it. I'll continue, however, with my usual routine, and then again, I will keep you updated on any long wearing tests. Like, I'm definitely gonna wear this tomorrow all day long because I got 3 classes tomorrow, so it's perfect for it to be tested during. This is my mini hourglass translucent veil powder. Just want to see how this concealer does under powder. Still looks lightweight, doing well so far. You know, I picked this up as well. What is wrong with me today? I was out of control. This is not new. This Jouer Soft Focus Hydrate Set Powder. I bought this in medium because I thought tan would just bring my color a little too warm. So I thought, why not try it with this foundation? Go on my Sonagy Base Pro. Let's tap into medium, see what that does. Oh, that's very nice. I'm really enjoying the shade of the gel stick because ideally if I wasn't going in with a powder bronzer, I still wanted to rely on the stick to give me some shape to the face, not again super contoured, but just a little dimension with that warmth. I really love that shade. I'm glad I got 401 because again, I always rather go a little warmer than neutral when it comes to the contour and the bronzer. The concealer looks amazing under powder. Wow. Just out of curiosity though, because we already have this set up, I want to go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Lovegasm palette with the bronzer shade because I feel since we already have like a lay down of bronze that maybe it will help this shade kind of will amp it up a little bit. Yep. That did it. Now, it is 2:20, which is not an ideal time to start a wear test, but I will wear this for the rest of the day, and I'm more than happy to update you guys on the community board or even in a pinned comment. And then I'll snap some photos tomorrow throughout the day for check-in. The skin feels good, man. I love what's happening. Let's take both these shades and just finish off the face. Here's the finished look with all the Shiseido complexion products applied. From what I see now, I'm really loving this foundation. And for those who are really concerned with alcohol, there's no alcohol in this foundation. The first 5 ingredients are dimethicone, water, glycerin, trifluoropropyl dimethyl trimethylsiloxane, PEG-10 dimethicone. So this heavily relies on silicones, but again, when it comes to Japanese skincare and makeup technology, the way they formulate their products is outstanding, and I feel it really shows in terms of how they wear and lay on the skin. My skin looks like skin, and again, I just put this on today, so I don't have a good handle on my feelings about it, but right off the bat, if you stayed away from Pat's foundation because of the price, because it has alcohol in it, or what have you, maybe check out the Shiseido because I think it's also going to give you a skin natural finish, again without the alcohol, if that really deters you from buying the Pat foundation. It's still expensive, but $47 is not as expensive as $68, but it's still expensive. I will definitely still acknowledge that, and I'm very happy with the shade match. I think citrine was the right way to go. 301 is great for the under eye, and 401 tan great for contour if you want to take that route. Now I know the gel stick could also be for my correcting hyperpigmentation, but I would just rely on the foundation for that, and I love the stick for my warmth, so I'll continue using the stick for that purpose going forward. Let me know if you have your eye on the foundation concealer or the correcting gel stick concealer. I hope the shade comparisons helped you out if you're around my skin complexion and tone. Oh, let me put my earrings back on. It was not the completed look. I didn't have my earrings on, excuse me. Again, I will keep you updated on the wear on this foundation in terms of taking close-up shots of how my skin looks throughout the day, and I will certainly let you know what I apply with it, what powder I apply with it, or what have you, so we have an idea of how other products work with these complexion products. And until then, friends, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another first impressions review, tutorial, demo. Get ready with me. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.